Hi children, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to today's politics class. In these days, we are discussing about key features of Indian Constitution. And already we studied about federalism, parliamentary form of government and separation of powers. Three and very important key features of Indian Constitution. Then today we are going to study the fourth one and very important, that is fundamental rights, about the fundamental rights. It is a very important key features of Indian Constitution. Okay, fundamental rights means these rights give us to protect from the misuse of state, against the misuse of state and against other individuals. Okay, it is protecting from the uh, misuse of powers against the state, that means government, and it is protecting from other individuals also. So all these rights, it's a safeguard of the citizen of India, and through these rights we are living peacefully in our states. The Constitution guarantees the rights of individuals against the state as well as against other individuals. Okay, so the Constitution guarantees the rights of individuals against the state, because the government can be misuse the power, authority can be misused. So that is why it is protecting from that also. Then against other individuals, the other individuals also can be make problem against us. So that is also protected by these fundamental rights. Then it is also guarantees the rights of minorities against the majority. Already we discussed what happened when the majority, the dominant group always can be access the powers of the minorities. So from that also these fundamental rights protecting. Okay, so the first one, the Constitution guarantees the rights of individuals against the state as well as against the individuals, other individuals. Then it is also guarantees the rights of minorities against the majority, and these rights lies in the Constitution part third. Okay, part 3, and this part 3 is very important for us, because this part 3 mentions about the fundamental rights, and because of these fundamental rights we are peacefully living. And our constitution provides 6 fundamental rights to its citizens. Okay, how much? 6 fundamental rights. There are 6 fundamental rights, very important. There are 6 fundamental rights. Okay, the first one, right to equality. Then second, right to freedom. Then right against exploitation. Then right to freedom of religion. Fifth one, cultural and educational rights. And sixth one, right to constitutional remedies. Okay, right to constitutional remedies. Sixth one, like this way, 6 fundamental rights provided by constitution. So one by one we can see. The first one, right to equality. Right to equality. Right to equality means all persons are equal before the law. In 7th and 6th standard we studied what is right to equality. All persons are equal before the law. That means the important person of the state, that is president, and we all are equal before the law. Okay, there is no any favorable. The constitution is not favorable to anyone. All are equal before the law. The president and me want to obey same laws. That is known as rule of law. Equality, the first and very important fundamental rights, right to equality. All persons are equal before the law. This means that all persons shall be equally protected by the laws of the country. It is also states that no citizen can be discriminated against on the basis of the religion, caste, or sex. Every person has access to all public places, including playgrounds, hotels, shops. The states cannot discriminate against anyone in matters of employment. But there are exceptions on this that you will be read about later in this book. So, right to equality means all are equal before the law. That means every individual, every citizen of in India, the President of India, Prime Minister, and we, I, all are obeying same laws. All are equal before the law. Everything, the public things, everything is provided equally to all. Then the practice of untouchability has also been abolished. Okay, so the practice of untouchability has been also abolished by the law. So the first rights, right to equality. All are equal before the law. Everyone can access the public things. Okay, then second one, right to freedom. The second one, right to freedom. It includes the rights to freedom of speech and expression, the rights to form, acts, the right to form any association, the right to move freely any part of our country, a right to practice any profession, occupation, or business. Okay, that is known as right to freedom. Very important. Right to freedom, freedom of speech and expression. Then freedom of assemble peacefully and without arms. Very important. Then freedom of association and unions. Freedom of move freely throughout the territory of India. Okay, all these things are included in these rights, right to freedom. That is why now we can freely move to anywhere. Okay, one place to another in India, throughout the India, everywhere we can go. And we have the right to speech, and we have the right to speak against the government if they are doing any wrong means we have the right. The constitution give rights. The freedom of freely move, freedom from association and unions, freedom to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or business. So these much things included in the freedom, right to freedom. Then third one, right against exploitation. Rights against exploitation. The constitution prohibits human trafficking, forced labor, and employment of children under 14 years ago. So, right against exploitation. If anyone, maybe state or any individual, any groups, if exploit others means, from that also constitution clearly protect us. That is why the children you are studying school, because you have the right under 14 years old, all the children have the right to study. It should be provided by the parents and schools and government. So that rights coming in this section, right to right against exploitation. Then constitution prohibits human trafficking, then forced labor also, and employment of children under 14 years old. So all these things can't do. Against all these things it protect. Then fourth one, right to freedom of religion. Fourth one, right to freedom of religion. Religious freedom is provided to all citizens. Every person has the right to practice and profess and propagate the religions of their choice. So that is our choice. The 18 years old citizen have the right to believe any religion. That is our own choice. So the constitution gives the freedom of religion. We have the right to choose our own religion. Then fifth one, cultural and educational rights. The constitution says that all minorities, religious or linguistic, can set up their own educational institutions in order to preserve and develop their own culture. Okay, so the minorities rights given there. So the majority can be always access the powers of the minority. So that is prohibited by the constitution through fundamental rights, and that rights cultural and educational rights. The fifth important fundamental rights is known as cultural and educational rights. All the minorities groups have the freedom to makes their own schools and all these things. It is under this law. Okay, every person, that means our own choice to believe one religion, that is right to freedom of religion. Then cultural and educational religion rights means the constitution states that all the minority religious and linguistic, okay, minorities means based on religion, and who are the less people. Then linguistic means based on language, Malayalam, Tamil, Hindi, like that, based on language. Then can set up their own educational system, educational institutions. Okay, so that is why Malayalam medium is there. Tamil medium is in Kerala, who the Tamil medium can also run the given rights. Maybe in some areas in Kerala, maybe Palakkad or such, Trivandrum, that area, the Tamil people are living more. So in that places, they can run Tamil medium also. Okay, so that is the constitution give the rights to these rights also. Then the last and sixth rights, right to constitutional remedies. It allows citizens to move the court if they believe that any of their fundamental rights have been violated by the state. So these rights very important. If any of these fundamental rights is violated means we can move to the court. Very important. We can directly move to the court and we can argue our rights. So these sixth rights, it is very important, because if any rights are not getting means or violated means, we can freely move to the court. So these are the 6 fundamental rights provided by Indian Constitution. So these are very important. So study. Then the rights are very important because they provide Indian citizens safeguard against the misuse of power by the state. First one, why it is important? Because it is protecting the misuse of the state. Okay, from the state. Then these rights aim to ensure the dignity of the individual. It's protecting our own dignity. Then these rights have been judiciable. The third one, very important. These rights have been judiciable because any rights is violated means we can move to the court. So these are the 6 fundamental rights you have to study. The first one, right to equality. All are equal before the law. Right to freedom of speech and move, and all kinds of freedom is provided by the constitution. Then right against the exploitation. Then the right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, the rights to constitutional remedies. These are the 6 fundamental rights. Okay, so these 6 fundamental rights are very important, and study it. Okay, let us wind up today's class. Thank you to listening my class.